Sometimes wealth doesn't vanish because of what we spend. It disappears because of what we fail to understand. Welcome to Stoic Valor, where every word is meant to strengthen your inner discipline and remind you that the true currency of life is not gold, but wisdom. There's a silent truth that most people ignore. Poverty of the mind always precedes poverty of the wallet. You can hand a man a fortune, but if his thoughts are undisciplined, that fortune will decay like fruit left in the sun. Stoicism, the ancient philosophy of self-mastery, teaches that the greatest wealth lies in governing your desires, not in fulfilling them. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It's all within yourself, in your way of thinking." Yet today, we are surrounded by illusions that whisper the opposite. We are told that happiness can be bought, that comfort is success, and that accumulation equals peace. But the Stoics warned us that attachment is the source of suffering. Seneca observed that no man is poor who can control his desires. The truth is simple but brutal. We are not slaves to money, we are slaves to our craving for more. There are 7 habits that quietly sabotage our financial stability and keep us chained to anxiety, debt, and dissatisfaction. Each of these habits is not merely an economic flaw, but a spiritual disorder, a failure to master one's impulses. The Stoics believed that external loss is nothing compared to the internal decay of virtue. When we waste money without reason, we are not losing coins. We are losing character. The first destructive habit is living beyond your means. Epictetus taught that wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Yet modern society glorifies the opposite. Credit, image, the illusion of luxury. We trade peace of mind for a new device, a larger car, a temporary sense of importance. A Stoic does not reject comfort, but he never becomes its servant. Ask yourself, do you own your lifestyle, or does your lifestyle own you? The second habit is neglecting self-discipline. Every coin you spend is a reflection of your mind's order. Seneca compared money to time. Both can be wasted thoughtlessly. The man who cannot say no to his desires becomes a slave, not to a master, but to himself. Every unnecessary purchase, every impulsive expense is a small confession of weakness. The Stoic approach is not deprivation, it is alignment. Spending intentionally, choosing consciously, and valuing tranquility over status. The third habit is confusing income with intelligence. Many people mistake luck or opportunity for wisdom. They believe that more money means more mastery. But fortune is fickle, and without virtue, wealth amplifies folly. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, what stands in the way becomes the way. Obstacles refine wisdom. Comfort erodes it. A Stoic measures success not by numbers, but by serenity. The fourth destructive habit is neglecting gratitude. The ungrateful mind always lives in scarcity, no matter how full its pockets. The Stoics practiced daily reflection, thanking fate for both prosperity and loss. To them, gratitude was armor, protection against the poison of envy and excess. Ryan Holiday wrote, "Gratitude is the seed of contentment, and contentment is the foundation of peace. The more you appreciate what you already have, the less you crave what you don't need." The fifth is avoiding responsibility. Financial ruin often begins with blame. People blame the economy, their job, their past, but never their own habits. The Stoic knows that what happens is less important than how one responds. You cannot control the market, but you can control your mindset. You cannot command luck, but you can cultivate discipline. Responsibility is the soil where freedom grows. The sixth destructive habit is procrastination, delaying financial order, saving later, investing someday. Seneca warned, while we wait for life, life passes. The same applies to money. While we plan to act, opportunity decays. The Stoic recognizes that procrastination is not laziness. It is fear disguised as comfort. To conquer it, one must act with reason, not emotion. And the seventh, perhaps the most dangerous habit, is seeking validation through spending. The Stoics would see this as the ultimate folly, placing your peace in the opinions of others. When you buy to impress, you trade authenticity for applause. Epictetus would ask, is it not madness to seek happiness in the control of others? Every time we purchase status, we sell a piece of our inner freedom. These 7 habits are not just about money, they are mirrors of the mind. They reveal how we think, what we fear, and where we lack control. Stoicism teaches that to master the external world, we must first conquer the internal one. Wealth without wisdom is just another form of poverty. Imagine for a moment a Stoic in today's world. Perhaps a quiet man in a crowded cafe, wearing simple clothes, reading Marcus Aurelius on his worn tablet. Around him, people chase trends, gossip about prices, scroll through endless offers. He sits in silence, sipping slowly, detached yet fully present. His wealth is invisible, but immeasurable. Clarity, discipline, gratitude. That is the essence of Stoic prosperity. To own nothing but your peace, and to guard it fiercely. Remember, the goal is not to reject wealth, but to rise above it. Money is a tool, not a temple. When guided by virtue, it becomes a servant of purpose. When guided by ego, it becomes a master of chaos. The Stoics did not teach us to be poor. They taught us to be rich in the right way. As Seneca once wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." So before you look at your bank balance, look at your habits. Before you chase another opportunity, examine your motives. The Stoic way is not about having less, it's about being more. We live in a world where people work tirelessly to earn what they never truly own. They buy comfort but lose peace, acquire possessions but feel empty. The Stoics understood this paradox centuries ago, that the more we chase satisfaction outside ourselves, the further it runs. The only wealth that endures is the one forged in discipline. So how do we apply Stoicism to rebuild our relationship with money and with ourselves? It begins not in your wallet, but in your mind. Every action you take with your finances is a reflection of your philosophy, whether you realize it or not. The way you spend, save, or even react to loss reveals the state of your inner world. Let's revisit those 7 destructive habits and transform them into Stoic practices that heal instead of harm. The first step is to counter living beyond your means with the habit of intentional simplicity. The Stoics practiced what we might call voluntary discomfort. Seneca would sleep on the floor once a month, eat coarse bread, and wear rough clothing, not out of self-punishment, but to remind himself that he could live well with less. He wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare," saying to yourself the while, "Is this the condition I feared?" Try this once a week. Spend a day with 0 unnecessary purchases. Eat simply. Avoid entertainment that costs money. Observe your reactions. Does it make you anxious, restless? Those feelings are the chains of dependency breaking apart. Every time you resist the urge to buy for comfort, you strengthen the muscle of freedom. The second practice replaces lack of discipline with financial reflection. Each night before sleeping, write down 3 things: what you spent money on, why you spent it, and whether it aligned with your values. This Stoic-style journaling trains awareness. You will begin to see that many expenses are emotional, born from boredom, fear, or comparison. When you track your motives, you begin to reclaim your mind. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The third transformation is to replace arrogance about income with humility about fortune. When money flows easily, the ego swells. We begin to think we are invincible, forgetting that fortune is a visitor, not a resident. The Stoics would advise gratitude rituals, even in times of prosperity. Every morning, thank fate for what you have and remind yourself this too may pass. It's not pessimism, it's protection. You are training your mind to stay grounded, whether your fortune grows or fades. The fourth destructive habit, neglecting gratitude, can be conquered by daily mindfulness. Before each purchase, pause for 10 seconds and ask yourself, do I already possess something that fulfills this need? More often than not, you will realize you do. Gratitude dissolves the illusion of lack. When you learn to see abundance in simplicity, you stop leaking wealth through unconscious craving. The fifth transformation is to turn avoidance of responsibility into radical ownership. The Stoic does not blame external forces. He looks inward. If you are in debt, acknowledge it fully, not with shame, but with clarity. Ask, what action can I take today to move one step closer to order? Maybe it's tracking your expenses. Maybe it's cutting a small luxury. Maybe it's asking for help or learning about finance. The key is to act. Epictetus reminded us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Responsibility is not punishment, it is liberation from helplessness. Now, the sixth habit, procrastination, requires a direct assault. The Stoic cure is premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversity. Each morning, visualize the consequences of inaction. Imagine your future self trapped by debt, your dreams delayed by hesitation. Feel the discomfort now, so that you act before regret arrives. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Apply that urgency to your finances. You do not have endless time. Every decision delayed is a seed of future suffering. Act today. And finally, the seventh and most insidious habit, seeking validation through spending, can only be defeated through the Stoic virtue of autarkia, or self-sufficiency. It is the art of being enough for yourself. You must learn to find worth not in possessions, but in principles. A simple exercise. Before buying something to impress others, imagine that no one would ever see it. Would you still want it? If the answer is no, it is not a purchase, it is a performance. And every performance costs a piece of your peace. To embody Stoic financial discipline, structure your life around 3 daily rituals. First, morning intention. Upon waking, reflect for a minute on how you want to use money today. Ask yourself, will my actions serve virtue or vanity? This anchors your mind before the world distracts you. Second, midday pause. When faced with an expense or desire, take one deep breath and ask, is this necessary? If Marcus Aurelius could pause before decisions that shaped an empire, you can pause before a purchase. Third, evening reflection. Before bed, evaluate your day. Where did you act with wisdom? Where did impulse take control? Journaling these reflections turns awareness into wisdom. The Stoics understood that habits shape destiny. James Clear, a modern voice echoing their wisdom, wrote in Atomic Habits, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Each mindful decision builds your financial virtue brick by brick. Let's bring this to life through a small story. Imagine a man named Adrian. For years he lived chasing every impulse. New phones, weekend trips, nights out he couldn't afford. His paycheck vanished before the month did. One evening, overwhelmed by anxiety, he stumbled upon a quote from Epictetus, "No man is free who is not master of himself." It hit him like thunder. From that day, he began living with intention, tracking expenses, journaling desires, confronting his fears. Within months, his finances stabilized. But more than that, his mind quieted. He stopped seeking approval through spending. He found pride in simplicity. Adrian's transformation wasn't about saving money. It was about reclaiming control. And that's the essence of Stoicism, freedom through mastery of the self. Now pause for a moment and reflect. Which of these habits has quietly drained your energy, your peace, your wealth? Which habit do you defend with excuses? You already know the answer. And that awareness is the beginning of change. If this message is resonating with you, if these words are stirring something inside, then remember, this is just the beginning. There is more strength, more clarity, and more peace waiting for you on this path. If this message is resonating with you, don't forget to subscribe to Stoic Valor, because here we don't just reflect, we transform. When you choose Stoicism, you are choosing power over passivity. You are declaring that your peace is worth more than possessions. You are no longer playing defense with your finances. You are building a fortress of discipline. The Stoic way is not about scarcity. It is about sovereignty. When you no longer depend on money for identity, you can finally use it as it was meant to be used, to serve purpose, not pride. A Stoic understands that money is neither good nor evil. It is simply potential. Its value depends entirely on the hand that holds it and the mind that directs it. As Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." You cannot control the economy, but you can control your impulses. You cannot dictate the market, but you can master your reaction to loss. You cannot buy happiness, but you can cultivate the habits that make it unnecessary. And so each day, treat every coin as a teacher. When you spend, let it teach you about your desires. When you save, let it teach you patience. When you give, let it teach you generosity. Money in the hands of a Stoic becomes a spiritual exercise. Every transaction is a reflection of character. Remember this truth. Your financial peace is not built in banks, it is built in your decisions. Every wise choice is an investment in your freedom. Every moment of discipline compounds into serenity. There comes a moment in every life when you realize that the war you've been fighting was never against the world. It was against yourself. You were not losing money. You were losing focus. You were not drowning in debt. You were drowning in desire. You were not trapped by the system. You were trapped by your own habits. The Stoics would tell you that wealth and poverty are both tests, one of restraint, the other of resilience. To handle either with wisdom is the mark of true strength. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet lived with the humility of a monk. Seneca possessed great fortune, yet practiced poverty to remember who held the power, him or his possessions. Epictetus was born a slave, yet his mind was freer than the rulers of his time. These men understood a truth that still echoes across the centuries. You cannot serve two masters. Peace and greed cannot coexist. So look at your life now. Every expense, every desire, every anxiety about money, each one is an opportunity to practice virtue. The world will tell you to chase, to consume, to impress. The Stoic tells you to pause, to reflect, to be. Every moment of silence in the face of temptation is an act of rebellion against chaos. Every deliberate choice is a victory over the self. You don't need to be rich to live abundantly. You need to be wise enough to live intentionally. Think about how much energy people waste comparing, envying, and regretting. They carry invisible chains made of expectations. I must have this. I must look like that. I must live as they do. But a Stoic breaks those chains with awareness. He asks, "Who told me I need this to be complete?" And often there is no answer, only noise. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." These words are not a rejection of ambition, but a call to clarity. You can strive for success, but never let success define you. You can earn wealth, but never let wealth own you. A Stoic's bank is not filled with money, but with peace of mind. His currency is focus. His interest rate is consistency. His investment is in virtue. And his greatest profit is tranquility, the kind of quiet that no market can crash. The 7 habits we discussed: living beyond your means, neglecting discipline, arrogance about income, ingratitude, irresponsibility, procrastination, and validation through spending are not isolated behaviors. They are symptoms of a deeper illness, the lack of mastery over oneself. To heal that, you must begin the journey inward. Ask yourself every day, am I spending money or am I spending my peace? Am I seeking progress or am I feeding ego? Am I building wealth or am I escaping insecurity? These questions may seem simple, but they are sacred mirrors. They show you where your freedom begins and where it ends. And when you fail, because you will, remember this: the Stoic does not seek perfection, only progress. Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly." Each time you catch yourself before an impulsive purchase, you are winning. Each time you choose to save rather than spend for approval, you are reclaiming your sovereignty. The Stoic path is not a straight line. It is a daily discipline. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that nothing external controls your peace. Not the economy, not possessions, not the opinions of others. That is wealth beyond measure. That is what the Stoics called ataraxia, unshakable tranquility, and that is what we're after, because money will come and go. Markets will rise and fall. But character remains. It's the foundation upon which every fortune is built. When you master your habits, you master your destiny. So as you leave this video, take this truth with you. Your financial freedom will not begin when you make more. It will begin when you need less. The Stoic doesn't fear loss. He fears waste. The waste of time, of purpose, of self-awareness. Do not let your potential decay in the pursuit of illusions. Cultivate virtue, discipline, and gratitude, and watch how abundance naturally follows. This world will keep trying to sell you things. Let your calm be the one thing they cannot buy. If this message helped you see your life with more clarity, then help us share it with the world. Subscribe to Stoic Valor and join a community of thinkers, warriors, and seekers who refuse to be controlled by the chaos of modern life. Here we learn not just to survive, but to live with purpose, courage, and peace. Every time you listen, reflect, and apply, you honor the Stoic tradition that has outlived empires. And in doing so, you build one within yourself, not made of gold, but of wisdom. Because at the end of all pursuits, you will find that the richest man is not the one who owns the most, it's the one who needs the least. So take a deep breath. Let go of what no longer serves you. Choose mastery. Choose peace. Choose valor.